What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Knock 'em Boots video podcast. I'm your host, Daemon Hatfield. Joining us again is friend of the show, Ryan Keely. Penthouse pet, porn star, all-around sex expert.
I am.
How do you feel about the term sexpert?
Oh, God,
You hate that one.
I
Okay.
hate it
That's
so
why.
much.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, see,
That's why I
sex
asked.
expert. Do we need to make words smaller? It makes me think of in
We
1984
live in
when they start making all the words smaller and less and combining them.
It's just like that.
It totally is just like that.
Exactly.
You're mocking me.
She's the smartest one in the room.
Well, that's for damn sure. Also joining us this week are two new additions to the Knock 'em Boots crew. Jack Devries here, as you know, is one of our editors, big Nintendo fan, Pokemaniac.
Sure, yeah.
Here we are pushing words together.
So obviously also a sexpert.
Yes, that's true. And Brian Altano is here.
Hey, kids.
One of our features editor. One of our funny guys, you might say.
Don't
He's
say
good.
that.
And the GameSpy Debriefings podcast. And
True.
Many other debaucherous
Mostly bad
activities.
things.
That's true.
Speaking of debaucherous activities, let's talk about why two people aren't here today and why y'all look like
that's
hell. Just gonna call it out at the beginning of the show.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I'm
I
actually,
offered makeup services. I'm just saying.
I'm actually proud of us for actually going through with the show that we had planned. Because last night was the IGN holiday party, and we got Panda. It's true. Panda was gotten. So Greg he could not get out of bed to be on the show with us today.
But is tweeting about this show as we speak.
Is he really?
Yes.
Okay.
In bed.
That's excellent.
In bed. Hillary too.
So what have you been up to since the
I
last
have
Knock 'em
been
Boots
up
podcast?
to still continuing writing my column for Penthouse Forum, which is called The Dirty Details, which is sex advice, but in written format. And I am shooting a horror
like caveman sex advice.
Yes, it's old school, man.
Do you guys get carrier
Vintage.
pigeons?
Yes. Lots of carrier pigeons.
That's what
If you
sexting
want.
was.
Back in the day.
So I'm still doing my Penthouse Forum column. It's on stands now. It's out every single month in every single issue of Penthouse Forum.
Very cool.
For perpetuity or until I get bored. And now I'm shooting a horror movie in Florida, which is what I am taking a break from to come do this podcast.
Oh, that's fantastic. What is the horror movie called?
Girls Gone Dead. It's exactly what it sounds like.
That's the best horror movie titles say what the movie is.
Exactly.
You guys
what's
could have
about-
just called it Florida.
Yeah.
Jeremy Dunham used to work here at IGN. He and I came up with my favorite horror movie title of all time, Bloody Titties.
You know,
I really want that.
I heard that was
Nice.
the alternate title for Piranha.
You know, if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, he calls it a cavalcade of tits and gore, which is pretty much the best description for any horror
great
movie ever.
tagline.
I'm like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see that movie twice.
I would watch that in 3D. This is, of course, the podcast spin-off of the Game Scoop podcast, where we try our best to give dating advice to all the gamers out there. Ryan gives much better advice than we ever do. We have no idea what we're talking about.
I've never seen a woman naked.
As always, it's ladies first on the Knock 'em Boots podcast. We will start with a female viewer who would prefer to remain anonymous. Miss Hip Hop Anonymous, she refers to herself as. She says, I am a bisexual lady and am married to another bisexual lady. We've been married for almost 5 years, but just over a year ago, we decided to delve into polyamory and add a male friend to our relationship. Jack, do you know what polyamory is?
I do.
Okay,
It's
good.
when
It's a
you
Pokemon
one of
type.
the- Yeah, definitely it is one of the Pokemon elements.
So, she says, things are going pretty well so far. We're all getting along, no drama has arisen, but there is one little problem for me, and I seek your counsel. Once the boot knocking is over for the night, our male friend likes to stay in bed with us, cuddle, and fall asleep, which would be fine except for the fact that we have a queen-size bed, which isn't really big enough for 3 people to sleep comfortably. I could potentially deal with that, but what I can't cope with is his snoring. I'm a very light sleeper. I have to be at work early in the morning. So what do? Do I just deal with it, or break his little heart and say he needs to sleep elsewhere? Or is there some other option I'm not seeing?
So
This is
basically,
like-
this wasn't even a sex letter.
This
was
is
just
the
like,
kinkiest snoring question ever.
it was like, hey, here's the craziest thing I can tell you, and it leads up to a perfectly normal problem that millions of people suffer from a night.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
the
Get a
easiest way to
clothespin.
deal with this is clothespin is that's the suggestion. Clothespin.
I didn't go to medical school.
CPAP machine.
That sounds louder than snoring.
What I would say is that she's been in a relationship with this woman for 5 years, and so she is already in a primary relationship. There's 2 primaries in this relationship, and as she has the right to say to her partner, "Hey, I love that we have this man in our relationship, but our relationship comes first, and for me to be happy in this relationship, I need to sleep and I need to get to work so I can pay bills."
Yeah.
That's not a ridiculous thing to ask. And if there's a problem with that, maybe he only gets to spend the night on the weekends. You know, when she doesn't have to get up early for work.
Or maybe she does get up for early on the weekends.
That's
But-
the
She
worst
doesn't specify.
post-sex talk. Work and emails and
Well, it's you don't
Bills.
have
Go
this
sleep on the
conversation in the
couch.
bedroom. You had this. Well, they
true.
can set them up in a guest bedroom.
A queen size bed is small for 3 people.
yeah, no
Sounds
matter
very
what. I
comfortable.
mean,
Yeah.
that's your big problem. If you're gonna have threesomes, get a big bed.
Yes, they need to
First
be
and foremost.
accommodating their guests.
Yeah, just get a
You
get a
can fix anything in
bedroom.
a California thing.
Get a mattress the size of your house. Put it on the roof.
Another lady listener, Jeanette Chung, she says, I'm a 16-year-old girl, fan of GameScoop, and a complete noob cake to the dating game. She's a delicious noob cake. This is the first time that I've ever sought help for romantic problems. In fact, this is my first attempt at romance. There's this guy I like at my school. I think we have finally moved into the temporary friend zone. The reason I call it temporary is because I want to take it a step further. He is really funny in the sort of deadpan, morbid, tactless style that I really find hilarious. That's Altano's humor style as well, I think.
I'm actually the guy she's writing about.
And he is really nice. Oh, this is obviously not you. Just recently, I found out that he games, and this past Thanksgiving break, we gamed for many hours together. We talked a lot during our online session, but then the topic turned to Peggle. Peggle is a video game, Ryan. The innocent talk about balls. I'm assuming you don't know that. Did you know this? Okay, thank you.
Also a position.
It is.
It is.
The innocent talk about balls falling into holes and hitting other balls, and all the balls talk turned to him and I engaging in the online equivalent of third base. Peggle is kind of like pachinko, so there's lots of balls flying around.
Online
Oh my
equivalent
God.
of
Okay,
third base.
there's
That
no
makes me feel so old.
There's not.
There's
that doesn't
no
exist.
third base. No.
What? How?
Isn't third base oral?
Well, this
I thought third base was. I thought like.
yeah. Well,
Is it oral?
It is.
Third base
so,
is oral.
First
Yeah.
base is kissing. Second base is touching the boobs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
third
just
base is oral.
touching in general.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Groping.
For a guy,
Groping.
it's touching.
Fondly, yes.
If you're
Yeah.
typing out oral, that's still not third base.
Yeah.
What's first base? Like 8 equals D?
This girl is really young. She's only 16, so to her, this is significant.
Okay.
She says, thankfully, his internet crapped out before we made it to fourth online base, so I still have my
You came
internet
early.
virginity.
Internet virginity. Wow.
I do feel old.
Yeah, me too.
I feel really old.
So
man.
here comes the dilemma. She says, after that at school, we talked some, but the subject of the little sexy time chat never came up. For a while now, I've wanted to ask him out. I know that I won't have a problem with this because I've been called hot and stuff like that. And I know that he has an eye for Asians. Her last name is Chung, so
Okay.
he must be Asian. So no doubt he would love to get in a relationship. My only fear is that he'll decline out of fear for his image. I'm shorter than him. I'm about 5'2", while he is 6'3". Also, he's a bit overweight. He's 15 and is taller but mature for a sophomore. So she's 16, he's 15.
Just make out with the dude. Like,
Yeah.
don't have a conversation.
He's a
just
15-year-old dude.
pounce.
He'll make out with
Pounce.
anything.
Yeah,
He's a 15-year-old
seriously.
gamer dude who's slightly overweight.
And you're
He's
an older
Greg
chick.
Miller. I mean, like,
Yeah, he's basically Greg Miller.
hot Asian girl.
Funny,
Hello.
little overweight gamer dude, yeah.
She needs to take whatever conversation she's having with this guy in
No
the online
conversation.
format and bring it
Pounce.
into real life. I'm
Pounce.
just saying, get off the computer and just.
Yeah, make out. Just,
She's overthinking it.
yeah,
This is-
way overthinking. I mean, boys are easy. If you just like pounce and make out,
Boys are
they,
easy.
they
True.
usually respond.
Yes,
It's
that
a patented technique.
those are wise words. Boys are easy.
Yeah.
This is Bennett Christensen. What? You like what's
Nothing. Could
You know Bennett?
No, I don't know Bennett.
He has a very broad, general question that I think maybe you can help out with. He says, my name is Bennett. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
What does he say before he says that?
Scoop!
Oh.
Hey.
I thought he said spoon, and I got all tick excited.
He says, I am stuck in the friend zone. How do I get out and stay out in the future?
Getting stuck in the friend zone is awful, and it happens all the time. The only
deadly.
thing you can do really is don't allow yourself to be put in that position in the future. If you already are in the friend zone with a girl, you need to up your attractiveness. You need to make yourself more attractive to her in person, because do manly things like carry heavy things, start working out, up
That
your
works?
sex.
That
No,
stuff
it
works?
totally
Really?
works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, if I have a gentleman friend that comes over and lifts boxes and like fix is I don't know, a drawer or
He shows
something.
up at your front door and you're just like holding something heavy and like, hey.
Well,
Because I was about to say, like, stop doing her favors. Don't do
Well, yeah.
anything for her. I
no.
could be totally wrong.
No.
Okay.
Okay, you need to get yourself sexier. You know, like start working out, improve the body, and then continue to help with manly things. Because nothing is like is a panty dropper than like, oh, you're a big, strong man, and you can take care of me. That's a primal thing. That's a primal thing that women want, and they don't realize.
They can't help
They
it.
want a man that can take care of them and provide for them. And so that's just basic biological thing. Do that, in the future. Just don't listen to her talk about other dudes ever. ever, ever, ever.
Don't let her talk to you about them?
No.
Okay.
And it's don't ever acknowledge that she's in a relationship with someone else. Ever. Just ignore that whole fact and continue to present yourself as a sexual being.
I agree with that. There's nothing worse than having to sit there and listen to a chick that you want to be with.
Yeah.
Talk about some dude and she's like, oh, he sucks and
As
I wish
soon
I
as
was
she
with
can
somebody
vent to
better.
you about, if she's venting to you about guy problems, that means she's not gonna. She feels safe enough with you, and as a man, she wants to feel a little like threatened, like, oh, I'm ravish me, you big strong man. But not obviously, because rape's bad.
This is also very true. If you learn nothing else from this podcast, learn that rape is bad.
Don't rape.
This is Holly. She says, hey guys, I love listening to the podcast. I know you say you aren't experts, but you all do give some really helpful advice. So I've been hanging out with this guy who I have feelings for. We enjoy each other's company. We hang out quite a bit. We have a lot in common. We go to the same university. We're both gaming nerds, and we're even both classical music nerds.
Ooh.
We're both 19.
Cerebral.
So the first time we got together to hang out, we watched War of the Worlds. It doesn't specify which one.
Yeah.
Neither are sexy.
No.
Neither are very sexy.
No.
We're in my dorm room, both sitting on my bed in the dark, and continued to sit close on my bed in the dark even after the movie ended, talking for around 3 hours. I don't know about him, but pretty much the whole time I was feeling some chemistry between us. Nothing happened, but we were both pretty flirty. A lot of the times we've hung out after that have been at concerts or going out to eat somewhere. Things seem a little less flirty between us now, and I worry that we've fallen into the friend zone.
Just pounce.
This is a girl worrying about falling
Again,
into the friend zone.
just pounce. Anyway, continue.
Pounce.
Well, her
Yeah.
question is, in a situation like this, if you like a girl, do you just tell her? She's wondering, she's like, when guys like a girl, do they just tell her?
Do they?
Or they should, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you should. I always try to be honest. You just go for it. Like,
I've
I
never
don't like wasting my
really-
time.
Yeah.
I've never really had to tell anybody, like they could just pick up on it.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty obvious if I'm sitting there and I'm being flirty with somebody that
But these gamer girls seem to be overthinking the relationship stuff.
Well, they're
It's
cerebral,
two
yeah.
insecure
Yeah.
people trying
Yeah.
to get. This is when I go back to my pouncing. You know, it's the worst thing that's going to happen is be like, whoa, oh hey, I'm not ready for that, and then you can talk about it. But 80% of the time, you're going to get some, and that's the end goal usually.
It is usually.
it's a great percentage.
I like those odds.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
As a guy, I'm perfectly cool with a girl doing the pouncing.
Yeah, and even if it's an ugly girl doing the pouncing, how bad is that?
Yeah, there are worse things than
It happens.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you'll deal with it and get her done.
Thank you, Jack Daniels.
This is TJ. He says, okay, so this is referring to something we talked about on a previous episode of Knockin' Boots. Tell me if you've heard about this. This is actually a very serious, apparently, psychological affliction called Vaginismus. Have you heard of this?
Jack, have you?
This
no,
is-
I don't have vaginismus.
This is a condition. A listener wrote in, his girlfriend suffered from this. It's where, like, when anything gets close to the vagina, it closes up.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Nothing's
What?
getting,
I
nothing's
didn't know
getting
that was
in
a
there.
term, but yeah.
Nothing is
What?
getting in there. It's like
It's shy vagina.
it's like if something comes close to your eye and your eye closes, it's just a reflex and you can't control it.
I seriously have never heard of this.
I hadn't either, but
This
I
is
looked it up.
terrifying.
It is true,
and this is
actually.
totally true.
Yeah.
And this guy had been with this girl for a couple years, and they had never had sex because she.
2 years?
Yeah. Well, this guy.
Jesus Christ.
It gets even more interesting. So this is a real thing. TJ writes in to say, I was deeply disheartened to hear of a fellow listener who was having penetration issues on your last Knocking Boots podcast. After 3.5 years of painful attempts to claim her virginity, my girlfriend was diagnosed with vaginismus. She was told that it was psychological, but to treat the disorder, she was instructed to pick up vaginal dilators, a set of 5 smooth, phallic, vibrating objects arranged in size from pinky finger to larger.
Black guy. You wanted to say it.
Yes. Progress was slow, and she was overly sensitive to any injuries or to any inquiries as to how things were coming. So I was starting to lose hope at having a healthy sexual relationship. I know, you're thinking that things were not coming at all, were they?
You said it.
Like the listener, I too was getting fatigued after 4 years of not being able to consummate the relationship. Can you imagine it?
No.
No, yeah, no.
And
Sorry.
it seemed to me that temptations were getting more intense and frequent. I developed a fear that my constitution would waver and I'd mess up the best relationship I'd ever had. I played the podcast for her, not the first time we'd listened to it together, and we had a good laugh about how people who were uninitiated talked about the disorder, particularly Ty's remark about throwing it in there real quick. So I thought you should just try throwing it in there real quick. Or try it when she's sleeping.
Like a sneak attack?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
his advice.
His advice was to rape her. That's not.
After
Don't
la-
rape.
After laughing about it, we had a serious conversation. She tried to apologize for being defective, and I assured her.
Oh, no, that's awful.
He said, I assured her that I'd wait as long as it takes to have sex with her because she's the only girl I want to have sex with. Amazingly enough, we had sex for the first time a few hours later. It was fantastic.
Wow, all right.
I had managed to convince myself that sex isn't as incredible as it is. I think it's too big a coincidence to think that I don't owe it all to you guys. So thank you for this medical miracle. Thank you for being men enough and women enough to talk about an awkward sexual condition that few people are aware of because for 4 years, the only person I felt comfortable talking to was the owner of the affected vagina. So yeah, he says, I love you guys, keep up the good work. That's a happy ending.
Amazing. That's wonderful.
Okay.
That really does make it sound like it's a psychological thing, right?
It absolutely
Yeah.
is. Yeah, absolutely is.
Because it's not like a vagina has eyes.
They don't. They don't.
Right?
No,
No.
they don't. I didn't think
No,
so.
unless it's, hentai.
There is, yeah. There is hentai. All right. This is Jeff Burke. He says, I had a crush on a certain girl in high school. We hung out a lot, went to a few dances, but we never dated. Then we both went to college, didn't see each other, talked to each other for 4 years. We both graduated, and it turned out that our parents had moved next door to my parents. This struck me as kind of a good sign, so I asked her if she wanted to date for reals. She was my first girlfriend. I was 22. I'm a late bloomer. So she moved to Wisconsin for grad school, and I moved to Atlanta for work. We agreed to try the long distance thing. About 2 weeks after she moved, she called asking to break up, saying it was too hard. A few weeks later, she sent me an email saying she's already been on a few dates with other guys. So that was a year ago.
What a bitch. Oh, excuse me.
He says
right.
What a
By the way.
terrible
But
person.
yeah, don't tell people how great your
Oh, by the
life
way.
is.
So he says, I still haven't responded to this email a year later. She tries to email me or send messages on Facebook, but I haven't responded. I honestly don't know what to say to her. I really liked this woman. Hell, I loved her. And she crushed me. She broke my heart into little bits. I wish I'd never dated her since I wouldn't feel as terrible as I have for the past year. It wasn't worth it. I'm slowly getting over her, and I don't think I'd get back with her because the thing is, I'm not sure she ever loved me. Looking back, I think she loved the fact that I loved her, if you know what I mean. I guess my question is, am I being a huge douche by not ever responding to her messages?
Block her.
No.
Block her.
Yeah.
Block
Yeah,
her. Block her.
I know. Are
Go
they
get someone
friends on
else.
Facebook? You don't need to be friends
No.
on Facebook.
Yeah, don't friend your exes. Don't friend anybody. People are horrible.
Yeah. No, block, 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 ignore, completely ignore.
This was his first love, and she broke his heart, so.
You know what
You'll
makes me
find
think
more.
of is the Foot Fist Way, the relationship in there. Danny
I've
McBride's
not
first
seen it.
movie?
I've not
I've
seen
seen
it.
that
Yeah, his relationship
remind
with
you
his
of that,
wife.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well, he just keeps putting up with
Keeps
torture
putting up
and
and she
punishment.
keeps pooing on him.
Yep.
So his second question is, assuming I'm not a complete asshat, how do I get back out there? I'm kind of a recluse, so meeting people is tough for me. I'm a personable enough guy when I'm out in public, but my idea of a good time doesn't involve big crowds. I mostly enjoy staying at home, going to the gym, or going to rugby. Clubbing or going to bars holds zero interest for me. I don't think I'm undateable. I'm a pretty nice guy. I've got a good future. I'm a microbiologist. And I keep myself in
I'd
good
date
shape
this guy.
for rugby.
He goes to the gym and plays rugby.
says,
no, he's
I
like,
I'd date this guy.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
see?
I have no
Right.
idea if I'm. I have no idea if I'm all that attractive, but I don't think I'm Quasimodo. So this is him. What do you think?
Looks like a regular dude.
Dateable? This guy. This is a.
I'd like to point out that he's on OkCupid.
So he's
he's
doing online
trying.
Yeah,
dating.
so that's good.
For nerds.
I would say
it's
though,
perfect.
maybe this isn't the best photo.
No, that should
put
not
on
be
an
your
online
okay
dating
photo.
site.
No.
Like this.
That's
I would
not a
ditch-
good OK.
I would
Look,
ditch the
find some better
stash.
photo.
It looks like he's lit by
Would
the
what?
TV.
I would ditch the mustache. It just
He
looks
doesn't
like.
have a mustache.
Well,
Can we
there's-
show
You
her?
just need
No,
to
we
shave
can't.
a little
We're
closer.
not going to show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on
Okay.
camera. But yeah,
Oh, if we're not going to show it, then he has to get rid of that third ear.
he doesn't have a third.
Maybe you shouldn't have taken a picture of his balls. But
Yeah.
Like,
Some people go for that.
or maybe you should.
That's my OkCupid profile. Picture my balls.
But apart from OkCupid or a dating site, what would you say for someone who doesn't really
mean,
like going out to bars?
Step one: stop saying the word asshat. That's not helping anything.
Yeah.
No one wants to
Probably
hear that.
true, yeah.
He goes to the gym, start
Yeah.
looking around. Like, if look around the places you're already at.
Do people really meet up at the gym? Does that
Yeah.
happen?
Maybe not like long-lasting relationships, but you can get some flings at the gym.
Okay, maybe.
It depends on your gym.
Yeah, I know that
There
if
should be
anyone
gyms
approached me
for
at the
single
gym, they'd
people.
be.
There
wanna
are
hook up.
they have those.
Is there not? Does that not exist?
That exists.
Not necessarily. Ladies are pretty not nice when people try to hit on them in the gym.
Okay.
I'm just
All
gonna
right.
say.
Oh, it
That's good
exists
to
for
know.
dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Men can meet at the gym and have fun in the steam room, but it doesn't work that way for straight people.
We have it really.
Does he have like a sister? Can he start going out with his sister and his sister's friends? He's gonna have to go out at some point, even if
Yeah.
it's like a work event. Meeting people through work. He has to socialize in one way or another. Hanging out with a bunch of dudes, working out by himself, and staying home. He's not gonna meet anyone.
Yeah. So he needs a wing woman to
Oh,
go out with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
Wing
call.
women are good. We can all agree on that.
Yeah. Just take whatever social opportunity he has and say yes. You know, if your friends are like, hey, we're going to go do something, keep saying yes to those opportunities, because if you're not being social, you're not going to meet anyone.
This is Dylan Shunway. There's this girl I've been friends with for a couple years now. She's very cute. One of the sweetest people I've ever known. I get the feeling she is interested in me, and I sort of feel the same way, but I don't feel very attracted to her physically. She is overweight, and while I don't want to be shallow, I'm just not into that. What do you guys think? Can a relationship with someone you're not physically attracted to work?
No.
My
No.
lawyer's going through this right now, and he's having a tough time with it. Yeah, it's like, think she's totally awesome, not super into it
Yeah.
physically.
I don't think it can work.
It's called a friend.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Someone you like, but you're not
It
attracted
can
to
work
as a
if you
friend,
can
right?
afford pieces on the side. If you can be with someone for the emotions.
But it's not worth it. Why not get in a relationship with someone you are attracted
That's
to?
true.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah, and don't break her heart, because that's just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
it's going to
lead
lead
her
her
on.
on, and
Don't
then
lead
she's
her
going to
on.
be upset,
Yeah,
and
don't
you're
tell
going
her
to lose a
she's
good
attracted.
friend.
It's really tricky
Don't
to
say
tell
that.
someone
No,
that
you
you're
don't
not
need to say
physically
that.
attracted to them.
Yeah.
This is Josh Bramwell. He says, I'm 16. I'm from Australia. There is this girl, and she is in most of my classes. She's one of my closest friends. Normally, I would just ask her out. That is your most common advice. However, in Chinese class, we were talking about interracial marriage, and the aforementioned girl is Asian. During the discussion, she said she wouldn't marry a white guy. She's also very Christian, and her parents told her she can't date until she leaves school. So my question is, I think she kind of likes me, but the chances of a yes are lower because of all the things I mentioned above. Some advice would be much appreciated. So first of all, you guys are 16 in high school. You don't need to be worried about getting married.
Yeah,
Right.
no.
Yeah, don't
That's
worry
not
about
a
that.
problem.
No, don't.
I would say if life gives you an opportunity to hang out with an Asian girl, you take it. You take it right then.
Yeah,
and
get that knives chow.
Right?
Yes. And she could be like those Mormon chicks, too, you know, who are, yep,
And they go all super slutty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, also the ones that want to get married by the time they're 16, though, right?
Yeah, those
Isn't that
are
No,
something?
No, I
no.
don't mean.
Not those
no,
kind.
no.
Okay.
You tell.
Okay, I lived in a very Mormon-heavy town, and yeah, and it's not just Mormons. Anybody who grows up really repressed,
Yeah.
especially very religious people, they tend to either stay very religious or they tend to rebel. And when you have a very sexually repressive culture, you rebel by banging everyone.
Everyone.
That's why
Everyone.
That's why everybody in the Mickey Mouse Club turned out to be really slutty.
Yes.
That's actually really true.
God bless the Mickey Mouse Club.
Disney, man.
Disney
Is there still a
ruins
Mickey Mouse
everything.
Club?
No.
No.
There's nothing.
After that reputation they had with the last crop, I mean, what can
Yeah.
you do?
They had Justin Timberlake though, right? Wasn't he?
They churned out an entire adult rehab center, essentially.
Yeah.
They basically did.
And now Miley Cyrus is taking bong hits, so
Yeah.
it's all gone to hell.
And showing her cooter.
She showed her cooter? That was Vanessa Hudgens.
No, she showed her cooter. It was on a Canadian website, and they didn't take it down because she was legal age in Canada.
Do we have Google in there?
She's the legal age everywhere now.
Yeah, now she's legal. And she's been wearing like leotards with nothing underneath, so that's basically like showing your cooter too.
According to her new album, she's still a virgin.
All right, here's an anonymous listener. He says, hey guys, you get plenty of sexy time relationship questions, but I thought I'd toss a question your way about a regular old friendship to see what you think. I've known this guy for about 10 years. This is a male listener, by the way. He says, I've known this guy for about 10 years. He moved to the same city I live in 2 years ago, and we started hanging out 2 to 3 times a week since then. 1 year ago, I started dating my current girlfriend. Myself, my girlfriend, and this guy would hang out many times a week. Things always seemed cool. Well, about 2 months ago, he and my girlfriend were talking, and he got up and walked out and said he just couldn't take it anymore. I learned the next day that he apparently never liked my girlfriend and pretended for a year because he didn't want to tell me.
That's a good friend.
Wow.
That's a really good friend.
I haven't spoken to him much at all since, and the friendship is pretty much busted. What are your guys' thoughts on second chances?
He doesn't like your girlfriend. He doesn't not like you. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
hang out together, like just man and man, not man girlfriend.
Yeah, do
and man.
all three? Does he need? He probably doesn't want to be the third wheel.
No, he doesn't want to be the third wheel. She's probably doesn't want to be there for guy
I've had plenty
time.
of friends
Yeah.
that have awful girlfriends, just
Yeah.
awful, awful people. And it's just best not to hang out with them when they're together and then wait till she falls asleep and then say like, hey, let's go to the bar or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you guys do.
Just
You and your friend can have your guy time. Go to
Yeah,
get a
exactly.
beer.
Let them do their
Yeah.
time, you know?
I think so. Another anonymous. Greetings, Knock and Boots crew. I'm a 32-year-old web designer based in Dubai, and I've been involved with my girlfriend. I think he wants to like transfer some money to an offshore account that for us. Anyway, I've been involved with my girlfriend, let's call her Dana, for 10 years, 4 of which have been split apart because she is based in Singapore. Dubai, Singapore. We tried to make the long-distance relationship work, especially for the sake of our 8-year-old child.
oh wow.
We're not married, though.
This sounds like an awesome movie.
I know, right? I decided to move to Singapore Got it. 5 minutes. I decided to move to Singapore once my contract in Dubai expired. Before doing so, I took a 2-week solo backpacking trip across Southeast Asia last July. A 5-hour bus trip from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore, I met a beautiful 26-year-old woman. Let's call her Isabel. Long story short, we hit it off. We talked about a lot of things, and I was quite pleased we shared plenty of interests. We exchanged numbers and email addresses, then we parted ways. I ended my backpacking trip with a 5-day vacation with Dana, then I moved back to our home country to visit our child and my family. As soon as I arrived in my home country, I sent an email to Isabel telling her I enjoyed her company during the bus trip. She hasn't replied to this very day. So that was in July, I guess. A few days ago, Dana told me that she doesn't feel the same way anymore and is in fact dreading the idea that I'll be working in the same country as she is. During our 4 years of living apart, there had been numerous times that we were on the verge of separating, but nevertheless kept our relationship alive for the sake of our child. But honestly, the breakup has been a long time coming and I'm quite fine with it. During the past 4 months when I was in my home country, I kept thinking about Isabel. But since I was still in a relationship with Dana, I didn't entertain such notions as getting in touch with her until now. I've already secured a job in Singapore. I will be working there in December. Here's my dilemma. Should I make an effort to fix my relationship with Dana, or should I write again to Isabel and tell her that I'm interested in her? The former seems to favor our child the most, since there is that possibility we could fix this relationship, fully establish ourselves as a family. I can't deny that I still love my ex, but after all these years of living apart, I guess we just lost whatever spark we used to have. On the other hand, getting in touch with Isabel is a fresh start for me, although I'm not sure if she feels the same way. She didn't reply to my email after all. I think he is ignoring the third option, is that you should probably split up with Dana, your longtime girlfriend,
Yes.
but then you should find somebody else because it doesn't sound like Isabel's very
This guy
interested.
sounds like an international man of mystery.
I know, right?
Yeah, right?
I think there will
He's a
be
contract
there will be
killer.
many third options. That's like the press release to Uncharted 3 or something like that.
I think so.
Are you sure you printed the right thing? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
If Isabel was interested, she would have replied to his email, right?
Right.
Not necessarily, because if she already understands that he's in a relationship, maybe she's like, oh, I love this guy, he's super cool, but he's in a relationship also, so much time has gone by, she may be dating someone else too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously it sounds like this relationship is over. He's like, it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
I feel like he's already emotionally moved on from the relationship, so move on from that relationship and then shoot another email to Isabel, be like, hey, just wanted to let you know that things are I'm single now.
Right.
You know, I understand a lot of time has passed, but
I'm
you
gonna
know,
be-
if you're
yeah.
single, maybe we can meet up again and see if
And listening to these people, she probably didn't get back to you yet because she was on a backpacking trip in Tibet or like a hot air balloon tour of Nicaragua. Like, just give it a few.
If you spend a 5-hour bus ride talking about your baby mama, she probably doesn't think you're interested.
Right.
So.
yeah, exactly.
All right, last question here, with a photo.
Ooh.
With a slightly sexy photo, I might say. This is from Max Power, he says. He wants to be called Max Power. I have a very
we all?
No, we're not doing that.
He says, I have a very interesting question. Want to know the best way to approach this situation. My girlfriend and I have been dating for almost 3 years. Everything is great. No complaints with her. The other day she brought up something to me. She wants to have a threesome. And yes, the right kind of threesome with another girl.
That's important.
I was shocked as she has always been against that kind of stuff, but seems very serious about it. She even wants me to suggest a girl to do it with.
Ooh.
Oh, no, let her pick.
Trap,
It's a trap.
He says, it seems like this could be a trap.
It is.
It's a trap.
Yeah, so he says, how do I go about getting a girl? Can it be a friend?
No.
No.
friend.
Definitely not anyone you ever want to
ever,
see
never the friend.
on a
Ever.
regular
Yeah,
basis.
stranger.
Do I have to find some random girl in one of my
A,
classes?
it's a trap. Yeah. Okay, continue.
Well, so that's basically it.
Yeah. No.
How do you find a
it's
random
trap.
girl in your class? You put up something on the bulletin board? Hey guys,
Three-way partner
threesome
one.
after school
How
today.
old are these? How old are they?
I'm going to assume university.
Okay. Number one, it's a trap, so don't go there. But if you just say, if she is adamant about being like, baby, I only want to be with you. And if you want to be with a third person, you get to pick the girl. I want to make sure it's someone that you're into and you want to play with.
that's
And
good.
then
Pretty good.
adult friend finder.
Do you get to shoot down their idea if like she suggests one and you're like,
Oh yeah, you always.
That's awful.
Hey,
Yeah.
no fatties.
Okay. Yeah, no, what are you
Listen, ground
thinking?
rules.
She's gonna break our
This
bed.
is the girlfriend that wants to have a three-way, by the
Oh,
way.
all
Wow,
right.
that's
Girlfriend has some boobies on her.
Yeah, I would say
Boobies.
that. I would say she should save some boobies for the rest of them. 'Cause
I know.
it seems like she took them all.
This guy's dating this girl, and
he wants more than this?
And she, no, he doesn't.
She wants
Is
more.
this guy?
She looks.
He's totally looking.
He's looking right now.
She looks a little gay to me. I look at
You
that
can
and I
you
can.
buy
I'm
that-
getting
you buy
the
that.
bi
Okay.
vibe.
I'm just saying, this guy, Max
MHQ
Power,
has boobs.
I think he's earned his name because he's
Oh, no
dating
shit.
this girl. She has those boobs, and she wants to have a three-way with another
Yeah.
girl. Max Power is doing okay.
Legally
Yeah.
change your name. You've earned it.
Yes. Like that Captain Awesome guy.
It's true. All right, I think that concludes another successful episode of Knockin' Boots.
We did what we could.
Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us
It's my
again,
pleasure.
Ryan. You said you're going to be available to come back every so often. so-
Yes, very frequently, I hope so,
Excellent.
yeah.
When can we look for your?
My movie probably won't be out until either the Chiller Festival in April or this summer.
Okay.
Because it's called Girls Gone Dead. You can keep an eye on that. Follow me, Ryan, Twitter at Ryan Keely, RyanKeely.
Actually, we're all on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can find it-
Should be friends.
Yeah.
None of our stories cool though.
It's true. So thank you, Jack. Thank you, Brian. My name is Damon. This is the Knockin' Boots podcast, and we're out.